Hey guys, RPM here. Hope you're doing well, having a really great day. I am in my first crypto mining basement here. As you all know, I got a bunch of GPU mining rigs mining, but I have run into an issue. So I have decided to mine a few other coins, and when I was switching in Hive OS, I blew, a breaker on my Triplite PDU here. 240 volt, 30 amp PDU. Okay, this guy right here. This is actually one of my first PDUs I ever got back in I think it was 2018, 2017, when I got this Triplite PDU for I don't know, $300, $350 Canadian off Amazon. And yeah, this thing has been quite the workhorse. But I believe because I switched some flight sheets on 3 of my GPU mining rigs here, the Octaminers, with this one here is a 6700 XT rig. This one is a RTX 3090 rig, just 6 of them, and then I have 12 A2000s. So these 3 were just fine before. I think I was mining something low power like a lithium or radiant or something, but then I decided to switch, I think, 2 of the rigs to mining Narai, which is a Kapow coin. So I think normally on this bank, all right, this is a 240 volt 30 amp PDU, but there's 2 15 amp banks. So I believe each bank should theoretically go up to 3,600 watts. But I was definitely trying to stay within the 80% rule, which should be, less than 3,000 watts or so. And I think it pulled more than 3,600 watts. So I thought this would be, a good video to make just in case, anyone else runs into an issue like this. Or, I mean, it's not an issue, it's more so a mistake that I did myself here. Okay, so you can see I haven't been back to the basement for the past 3 days, so these rigs have actually been off for the past 3 days. So if we go to Octaminer 01A, okay, this is the 3090 rig, and I have the flight sheet on a lithium now. I think it was on Narai before. So now if I go back to the other one here, my A2000 rig, okay, this one's off as well, but this one's on XNA, Narai, which is Kapow. Okay, and now if we go back to the third rig, this is the, I believe, 6700 XTs, and I wanted to do Narai on this one as well. Okay, so I didn't realize that it would, blow the breaker on that PDU. So what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to turn on the rigs slowly here, and then, since these are in Octaminers, they should, see the power consumption exactly, and I guess I didn't gauge that too well. So hopefully this should report what once I turn on a couple of the rigs here. So let's go ahead and to enable the breaker on the PDU, I have to press it. Okay, so you can see I got 2 different banks here. Bank 1 and then bank 2. So I'm going to hit it, and I think once I do that, yeah, okay, so I just clicked it down. Okay, now looks like the rigs are coming back on. Okay, I guess I can't really turn them on one by one anymore. Let's see. No, the 6700 XT rig turned on. You know what? I think I can turn on the A2000 rig. Okay, yeah, these are the Octaminer X12 Ultras. So they don't turn on automatically. I know the 3090 rig looks like it's on, but the motherboard and one of the GPUs is not on. It's not actually on, it's just, I don't know why it's like that. But anyways, let me just see how much power we're using with the A2000 rig and then the 6700 XT. Be right back. Okay, so here are the 2 rigs, A2000, 6700 XT rigs. They're mining XNA. Both combined are taking about almost 2,000 watts. Okay, so if I just did some quick math here, so 15 amps times 240 volt, I'm just doing it by one of the banks on the Triplite, so that'd be about 3,600 watts. Now, if I times this by, let's say, 0.8, okay, for 80% rule, then the max I should really go on that bank is 2,900 watts. So if I'm already using pretty much 2,000 watts here, and actually we can verify this on the PDU itself because there is a meter on it, right? So we are at 10 amps. So what's 10 amps times 240? That means I'm probably using almost 2,400 watts. So if I turn on my 3090 rig right now, that's definitely going to pull more than, I think, 3,000, maybe 3,600 watts if I'm going to be mining a lithium, which I think each GPU was taking about 150, 160 watts. So I think my issue here is I should change my 6700 XT rig over to a lower algorithm coin. But right now, I guess for mining right now, for AMD cards, the Kapow algorithms are where it's at, and in terms of profitability as well. More so, I'm not really caring about profitability. I am, you know, kind of spec mining a few different other things here. You guys may see I do have a random X on NiceHash here, and actually I am testing out NiceHash on a lot of my, not a lot, just like 3 other CPU mining rigs right now, as that seems to be doing quite well in terms of, I guess, profit-wise, okay? So I'm just testing it out right now. Just a quick update, I guess, on my CPUs, just a few of my CPUs. I am getting a whole bunch more, okay? Just giving you guys that just disclaimer there for those that have not been keeping up. But I am gonna be getting heavy into CPU mining very soon. I got a bunch more. I got about 15 or 16 new CPU mining rigs coming. They're not new, but they're used, you know, 3900s X's and 5950X's. Okay, I guess my other alternative is I keep these 2 rigs that I want, A2000 and 6700 XT, on that PDU, and I could probably just move the 3090 rig to another PDU, which I have extra capacity. So 12 amps and 10 amps already used on this PDU. So I think that's good enough. That's max I want to go. Now, if I go over here, I have a PDU that is about, let's see, 19 amps. All right, if I go up to 24, then that means I'll hit up the 80% rule. So I feel like this one's kind of capped out already. If I add the 3090 rig, it's going to take more than that. So that probably won't be a good idea. Then I have another PDU here. It looks like this one is at 9 amps, almost 10 amps. So I could add the 3090 rig on that one. I think that's a better call. And then I do have another PDU here by itself with nothing. So, but that's gonna be for a bunch of my 5700 XTs, which I am gonna be getting on real soon here. Right after this video, I'm gonna make another video on populating the rest of my Octaminers and then filling up the Octaminer wall for this basement, okay? So I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna get some longer C13 to C14 PDU cables and get them run up to that PDU so that I can sleep better and knowing that I'm not gonna blow or trip a PDU here, okay? I'll be right back. Let me change that right now. Okay, so I got the rig moved over. Actually, I decided to move the A2000 rig to that PDU, to this PDU here. Okay, so now we're using 13, almost 14 amps there because I did not have, well, actually I do, but I was too lazy. So I didn't want to change the C13 to C14 power cables, longer cables, for the 3090 rig over to that PDU. So yeah, but now we're using 9 amps on this bank for the 3090 rig and now the 6700 XT rig together. Mining, I guess we're mining a lithium on 3090s and then XNA Mirai on the 6700 XT. So 9 amps there. Now, I should mention the C13 to C14 power cables that I'm using. These are from infinitecables.com, okay, C13 to C14. These are the 14 gauge cables, okay? The ends of them look like this, okay, to be exact. Infinite Cables sell these for really good price. I'll have it linked down below. I'm not affiliated with them, but they did put my videos on their website, which I thought was pretty cool. But anyway, C13 to C14, these are the 14 gauge cables. They do have the 16 gauge and then 18 gauge cabling, but obviously it is best to buy the thickest cable gauge possible because the capacity, the wattage, I guess amperage as well, 15 amps capable at 250 volt. Okay, so that gives a lot more capacity available through a thicker gauge cable like this, right? You want to have this just to be safe. You know, the higher gauge you go, like 16 gauge or 18 gauge, you can see the amp capacity is much less, right? 13 and then I think 11 or 10 amps for the 18 gauge. So thicker the cable, the better. Highly recommend if you are going to be, GPU mining or crypto mining, that the thicker gauge cabling that you have, even for like PCIe cables, like go to the veteranminer.com for thicker PCIe cables. It's just best to have that so you don't like start a fire or have melted cables or anything like that. It's always best to have thick power cables for anything you do for crypto mining. Hopefully that's a good disclaimer for anyone that's watching this video. I mean, for anyone that's already on the RedPandaMining YouTube channel, you guys have heard me talk about this a million times before, but it's always best practice to make sure you have thicker gauge cabling for your Octominers, your regular ATX PSUs, HP server PSUs, all that kind of stuff. It's just best practice to have that. Okay, guys, I think that's it for this video. That's all I wanted to do. Stay tuned. I'm going to be building some more rigs right now because GPU mining profitability and just GPU mining in general is gonna start exploding here real soon, I feel. So I feel like, yeah, it's time for me to start just buckling down and start building my rigs, start getting them up, and enjoy what's to come here. So let me know what you guys think of today's video. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good one. Peace out.